Hey, season 2 premiere, you ready?
Yeah, I think I will be. It's just tough because I gotta get the script and something new happens in Deflategate like every 3 seconds.
Wait, is Deflategate still a thing? I really don't get that.
Yes, Garrett, it's still a thing. You know what? Walk with me, talk with me. I'll explain the whole thing to you. So, I believe it was raining at Gillette that day, and the Colts tell the refs that the ball feels underinflated and that they think the Patriots are cheating, which is totally legit because a defensive player who hardly ever handles the football would definitely be able to tell such subtle nuances in football air pressure. So then in the second half, the Patriots come out with meticulously inflated balls, and they score something like, hey, Dave.
Are you guys almost ready?
Yeah, almost. Something like 30 unanswered points. So then we find out that some locker room guy brought the balls into the bathroom for 90 seconds, and then the league announces they're gonna look into the whole thing with an independent investigation led by a guy who works for the NFL. I'm gonna walk you through the Wells Report page by page because I feel like this is super important. So page 1, well, that just has the title and the people who worked on it, and also the date. Page 2, table of contents. So this brings us to page 38, where you're gonna see a table. They announce that Brady's suspended for 4 games. Garrett, 4 games. Are you kidding me? So Brady appeals, obviously, because this is a gross injustice. And Goodell's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna preside over that. Because things run smoothly when Goodell's in charge, like player safety, the Ray Rice surveillance tape. Goodell upheld the 4 games. Shocking. And so Brady took that to federal court, because at least there's rules there. In the end, it all worked out. Tomorrow night, Brady is going to play, and I wish I could be at Gillette. We still have to film a show.
We do.
I have an idea. Follow me. You're absolutely right. Enough walking. Let's get a Uber.
Okay.
We can just do it here.
Works.
Thanks, Garrett. Yeah! Welcome to Garbage Time, guys, and welcome to Boston! Woo! I am back at my old stomping grounds, the White Horse Tavern. I used to tend that very bar. It's the perfect place to celebrate Tom Brady's suspension being overturned. This is very important. Tonight, I want everyone to know this marks the end of Deflategate. It's over. It's dead. I'm calling it. Time of death, whatever time this show ends. We are going to spend the next half hour wrapping it up, and then, honestly, I don't want to ever hear it again, so don't talk to me about it. We're going to make a couple toasts, we're going to go back to college, and then we welcome home Pat's great, Troy Brown. And if you aren't a Patriots fan, don't change the channel, especially if you have a Nielsen box. We came up with a way to make this fun for you with, what else? A drinking game. So every time I say this word, am I nailing it? Yeah. I'm not allowed to look. Or any version of this word, you guys drink. Sound good? Yeah. Cool. We are going to kick this thing off, no pun intended, with a look at some of this week's headlines. The NFL tweeted a photo of the top quarterbacks who could be going to the Super Bowl and didn't include Tom Brady. I should have anticipated that reaction. Carson Palmer was on there, though, which I assume just means he bought a ticket. Ben Roethlisberger said he wasn't surprised at all that Tom Brady will play tomorrow, and that guy knows a thing or two about getting off. Thing or 2 or 3. Rob Gronkowski has reportedly agreed to put his name and image on a new hot sauce, which is cool, but I always assumed he didn't use condiments. Do you get it? Moving on. Since I'm surrounded by Pats, are you guys Pats fans? I didn't know. I had to ask. Since I'm surrounded by Pats fans and they all have drinks in their hands, I feel like it's time to propose a couple toasts. Yeah. Okay. But I don't have a drink, so I'm gonna get one now. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'll take this one. Okay, so raise those Garbage Time beer steins I was kind enough to give you for free. Yeah. You're welcome. First up, a toast to Giselle. Yeah. The entire country has spent the last 7 months talking about your husband's balls. You were cool with that. When reports came out that you were thinking about a divorce, at first I thought, divorce Tom Brady? Who do you think you are, a multi-millionaire Brazilian supermodel? And then I realized, yes, you are that. And even still, you're standing by your man. So to you, Giselle, cheers. Cheers. to Roger Goodell. Hear me out. Hear me out. It's my show. To Roger Goodell. Because if we learn anything from Deflategate, let it be this. Hating the commissioner is only going to make the owners like him more. His job is to distract us, so let's stop letting him. Instead, let's criticize the owners and the competition committee. Then maybe we'll see some change. And yesterday, Goodell said he's open to changing his role in the league's disciplinary process, which, by the way, he created. So you think he'd be good at it? So Roger Goodell, cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Knew I'd convince you. Next, a toast to Jimmy Garoppolo. We were all so grateful that you were going to step up. And we are even more grateful that you don't have to. So Jimmy Garoppolo, cheers. Lastly, a toast to you, Boston fans. I knew you'd like that. I know we're not exactly well-liked, and we have been rather spoiled over the last few years, but when push comes to shove and our team gets caught up in something that's more about narrative than facts, you defend the wall. Yeah. And I don't mean that you screamed that Tom Brady was innocent from the rooftops. I mean, you acknowledge that, yeah, he probably told someone he likes the balls less inflated, but that's really not a big deal. And then you screamed that Tom Brady was innocent, but from street level. Yeah. Did Tom Brady throw 4 touchdowns in the Super Bowl because of deflated footballs in the AFC Championship? No. Did Malcolm Butler make a great play in the end zone because we stole signs 10 years ago? No. Is Rob Gronkowski a huge star because our other tight end? Okay, well, maybe. Maybe, but regardless, the Patriots won the Super Bowl. Cheers to Boston fans. Woo! Cheers, Kayla. Cheers. It's exciting. Coming up, guys, 3-time Super Bowl champion and the kind of guy who makes me proud to be a Pats fan, Troy Brown. Cheers to you. Chug, 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 chug. Come on, Fred. Welcome back to Garbage Time. Remember, drink every time you hear this word. I don't know what it is. I hope it's the. I'm going to welcome in our guest. He spent 15 years in the NFL, all with the Patriots. He was an all-pro wide receiver, but enough of a team player to also play defensive back. Please welcome, you know who it is, Troy Brown. That one too. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
At our weird show in a bar.
I'm a weird guy.
I like that. I obviously have to ask. A lot of new allegations coming up about stuff that happened during your time with the Patriots, so I just wondering what you think of all of this.
I don't think much of it, you know. So I mean, you're bringing up stuff that happened, you know, I don't know how many years ago, and some of it's probably irrelevant anyway. So, you know, I think people are just out fishing for things to try to tarnish the Patriot brand, and it's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
Not in these parts, anyway.
No. You can cheer when he says cool. You played with Brady for 8 seasons. So that means you know him like just a little bit more than I do.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit better than me. Does he seem like the kind of guy who would intentionally deflate footballs? Is that a thing that you
No,
picture
I mean,
happening?
I don't think it's anything that, you know, that Tom Brady would do, you know, intentionally, anything like that, to try to tarnish the game in any way and to try to get that much of an edge on his opponent, you know. But I mean, and even if he did, it's errant of football.
Enough about stupid Deflategate's dead.
Thank you very much.
This game is very funny. I don't know if you've noticed, but we are huge Tom Brady fans in this. Perfect. It's going to work out. We hold him in such high regard, in fact, that we've decided to play a game to see where he stacks up among other all-time Boston greats. So here's how it's going to work. This game is called TB or not TB. My producer, Garrett, is going to read a quote. You and I then have to guess whether that was a quote that was said about Tom Brady or somebody else from Boston or, you know, yeah, from Boston. So we have paddles here. Mm-hmm. That's how you're going to guess. The loser buys a round of drinks for everybody in this room.
I'm on a retired salary right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, my show usually happens in a closet, so I don't have you. I have to win. The first quote is either about Tom Brady or Matt Damon. Garrett?
The good and the bad is I had a lot of film to watch to get a sense. The difficult part was more the physicality because he's a big guy. Was that Tom Brady or Matt Damon?
I'm going with Matt Damon on this one.
Well, knowing Tom for as long as I have, I'm gonna say it sounds like something someone would absolutely say about Tom, my good friend Tom. So, Garrett, what's the answer?
That was actually about Matt Damon. Said by Michael Douglas when asked about doing love scenes with Damon in Behind the Candelabra.
The next one is either Tom Brady or JFK.
It doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong. People listen to him. He gives you a look that makes you know if you do what he tells you, it'll be fine. Was that about Tom Brady or JFK?
I'm going JFK because he's giving me a look and I just know.
Tom Brady. I think that might have been said by Deion Branch, maybe.
Okay, well, you're showing off. You're just pretty sure there's no person named Deion Branch, so you're just making that up. Garrett, what's the answer?
Very good. It was Tom Brady, and that was said by you, Troy Brown.
Let's throw you up a little bit.
This is either about Tom Brady or local Boston legend, Jesus Christ.
And Katie, for this one, I'm going to have a little help from your brother, if that's okay. Everybody, Kevin Nolan. Thank you.
Okay, Kevin, don't screw up. This is your big break.
I wake up each morning with my sins washed away because I put my faith in him as my Lord and Savior. Is that about Tom Brady or Jesus?
I mean,
Holy smokes.
whatever you... I'm going to go with whatever the opposite of you do.
This is Tom Brady's city. This is Jesus' world. I'm going to say Jesus.
I am going to say Tom Brady.
That was said about Tom Brady. Said by me every morning in the mirror when I wake up.
That's our game. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
The final score, I believe, was 2-1.
2-1, I win.
So you win. So I
Drinks
have
on
to.
you.
Okay, I'm gonna put it, Fox, on my company card that I don't have. So if you could just mail that to me, stat, that would be great. Thank you for being here. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you for
really
having
good to have you. Coming up, I crashed a University of New Hampshire class on Deflategate. One more cheers to Troy Brown, everybody. To see how a law professor turned an alleged NFL equipment violation into a semester-long course. Take a look. Founded in 1866, the University of New Hampshire boasts top research and learning facilities, nestled into the hills of one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. But as students return from summer vacation, hungry for knowledge, they're forced to confront an unsettling truth. Their university is teaching a class about a controversy, Deflategate. I went to campus to learn more. What would this class entail? Who would teach it? And more importantly, why don't girls wear pants to class anymore? Are you aware that your school has a Deflategate course this semester?
I have heard about it.
I am aware, I heard that.
It's been in the news a lot.
What do you think they're going to teach?
Pressures of footballs. I'm
Societal
not really sure.
Of football.
I think it's a great class.
Why?
Getting suspended for footballs and then going to court. It's their reality TV show, basically, and they have our attention.
I'm going to list off a bunch of things that aren't real, and you let me know if you would major in these things.
Already?
Unicorns.
Absolutely.
Bigfoot.
I don't know.
Harry Potter.
Totally.
Shorts that cover your butt.
That might not be too popular.
Nobody would take that at this
Nobody
school.
would take that.
You are actually taking the Deflategate course.
I am. Signed up this afternoon.
So do you think you could deflate 11 of those in 90 seconds? Ready? Go. Go, Pete. Now, Pete. I needed to meet this rogue professor, brave enough to challenge the fundamental idea that you have to teach real things to college students. Meet law professor Michael McCann, the man who thought a class about deflated balls was a good idea. Why do you think Deflategate has become such a big deal? Why is everybody talking about it?
I think because there's an absurdity to it that captivates attention. The fact that the NFL has staked so much of its reputation on an equipment conspiracy.
Whose side are you on?
Neither. I'm on neither side.
Me neither. If you had to blame one person for this entire Deflategate mess, how would you let Roger Goodell know it was his fault?
Well, I don't know if I would blame Roger Goodell per se for the Deflategate mess. I would blame the individuals who have come up with these equipment rules.
So it's the NFL's fault.
I think the NFL deserves some of the blame.
The majority of the blame.
It's hard to know.
60% of the blame would lie with
The system of
The
rules
NFL.
that exists in the NFL.
the NFL. We can just edit out the beginning of that sentence and get to the NFL, right? Great. Would it be okay with you if I sit in and audit the class today?
You can definitely audit the class, Katie, and I hope you not only audit it, I hope you raise your hand.
I won't.
So this is a class that is fundamentally about a story that I think you're all familiar with. Very brief recap. Go back to January 18th of 2015. The New England Patriots were playing the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship. Well, in this class, we're going to look at issues objectively, as lawyers do. And I do ask you, play devil's advocate. Let's see if there are any questions. Yes, Ms. Nolan.
You're not saying allegedly enough. Could you just say allegedly? It's just important.
You want me to keep using the word allegedly?
Yes, please.
We'll bring up some of the weaknesses that might exist for the Patriots, that might exist for Tom Brady.
I object.
You
Your
object.
Honor.
On what
It's
grounds?
circumstantial evidence.
But circumstantial evidence is admissible in the court of NFL.
But I object. In the end, justice prevailed. Tom Brady will play week 1, and Michael McCann will teach an interesting class to some bright young students. But questions remain. What will happen in later appeals? How short will women's shorts get? And why doesn't anyone on the local news know who I am?
From the courtroom to the classroom, there is now a college course on Deflategate.
And the students took it very seriously as well. That hand you saw taking copious notes, that belonged to the young lady in the Patriots helmet. Really?
That happened, and I'm from here. So thanks, everybody. Coming up, the dumbest things that guy at your fantasy draft says every year. You know that guy. But first, cheers to butts. Season also means the start of fantasy football season. And here are some things you definitely overheard at your fantasy draft this year. I've been mock drafting since June, so pretty much won the league already.
These league rules are
He was just a product of that offense. He'll suck on his new team.
Quick question, are Canadian Football League players eligible?
I'm in 6 other leagues, so I really don't care about this one.
Well, great. Why did you come? Why did you show up? Just should have auto-drafted.
Guys, seriously, can we just agree that we're going to PayPal before the draft?
Why the is this taking so long?
I'll take Nelson
Wait, which Mike Williams?
Jamal Charles still available? Is Greg Jennings still in the league?
Anquan Bolden is still in the league?
Never take a quarterback in the first round. Ever.
Josh McCown, he sounds Irish.
I had that guy last year, and he sucked.
I'll take D. Cobb. Drandel Cobb.
Yeah, breaking news. That was a horse pick.
Is Peyton Manning still available?
Will you stop asking if players are still available?
Do you need an assistant to pay attention for you? Write the names down or cross them off the list.
Someone make a f***ing pick. Oh, it's my pick?
Is it too early to draft a kicker?
Dude, way too early.
A lot of guys come back from ACL surgeries. It's like a 2-week thing.
Take in, drink. Big thanks to all those guys for pretending that we're friends. By the way, have you guys been playing along with that drinking game? Yeah. Can I see the word now?
Yeah.
Balls! I knew it was balls! My grandmother is here. Finally, though, it's time for our Garbage Time Hero of the Week. This week, it's this guy talking about how he likes his equipment handled. Get ready to drink.
Some guys like them round, some guys like them tacky, some guys like old balls. To me, those balls are perfect balls, balls. Breaking the balls. I'm not squeezing the balls out. I like the balls. When I felt them, they were perfect.
Guys, that's our show. Thank you so much to the White Horse, to Doug Bacon, my old boss, and I'm told there's a surprise for me. Yeah! Oh my God! That's amazing. That's it, you guys. I'll see you next week. Yeah! Thank you. When you go to the bathroom, do you spend 90 seconds in there?
I think it really depends on what my purpose is in the bathroom.
Let's say number 1. Just kidding. Did anybody else bring their helmet? Because you did say that we had to bring the helmet. So I do get extra credit. I just want to make sure you saw. I'm not trying to be but like I did bring my helmet.